Well, good afternoon out there. It is afternoon. It's right at 4 o'clock, so I am headed home. Had a really good day today, and tomorrow's Friday, so that's even better. I have 1 week left on my contract, and I will be off for 9 days. So that's really nice. I am waiting on my exemption. Most of my Medicis friends have already got theirs back. Some got them back just within a few minutes. I got a receipt that shows where I submitted mine. And it says something like, if you are from the state with a mandatory vaccine, then they're going to wait to see what happens to the mandate. I don't think Georgia is. And it said, then you should hear back within 5 days. So I hope I hear soon. If not, I will be searching somewhere else. Yeah, I've already signed my contract for 13 more weeks down here. I really enjoy it. I actually had an offer. Wow, it's really crazy, insane money. It was in Alaska, and it was a sign-on bonus of $5,000 and a completion bonus of $15,000. They are just desperate for nurses, therapists, the whole shebang, you know, because in the medical field, there's a lot of folks that have quit because of the shot. I don't blame them. I understand. So, yeah, I had to tell that recruiter that I just signed a new contract, or an extension of a contract. So, yeah, but I hope that comes around again. I think it will. And a lot of states are not requiring you to have their particular license. You can work, I know, in Maine and in Alaska with a Georgia license, or wherever you're licensed at. They're taking any license. It's that bad. So if any of you are still interested in it, I would prayerfully think about it and just still do your research. And I will tell you, it has been a blessing for me. I've really, really enjoyed it. I do have a good story that has came out of this 13 weeks. I said I really and truly believe that's one reason God placed me here. I have a friend down here, and she is 57 years old. She was dropped in the hospital and is paralyzed. And of course, the litigation, all that, I mean, this just happened this year. So all that takes a while, and she's not at the point where she can go anywhere really, except to the hospital or something, or doctors. So with her insurance, she is only allowed so many ambulance rides that are free. Otherwise, she pays $300 a trip, and she doesn't have that kind of money. She lives on a fixed income, and there's no way she can afford those rides. So she's having to cancel appointments that she really needs to keep. And so a friend of mine, and I used to see her parents. They were my patients about 9 years ago, I guess. It's been a long time. And I had put up a little thing on Facebook about this lady that could use some transportation, some wheels to get her back and forth to her appointments. You know, nothing fancy, just something that's dependable. And you know, this young woman, she's 57 years old, and it's a tragedy. But she's not one to just want to ride around. It hurts her to take a ride. And believe it or not, paralyzed people do hurt. Just like people with amputations, they still have fathom pain. So, you know, they think their foot's still there when it's not, and it hurts. I believe it. I don't fully understand it because I've never experienced it, but I have no doubt that she has pain. But anyway, she just needed one. She has to go by stretcher. She can't do the wheelchair. It is so painful for her. So anyway, long story short, this friend of mine has donated a van to this young woman, and I don't want to call her name. She may not want me to, but you know what a blessing she is to that young girl. That, you know, and 57 is not old, but her whole life, her husband's life, have been changed because of negligence. And so, I mean, it's a sad situation, but isn't that wonderful how God works? You know, this friend of mine down here did not know the friend from where I took care of her parents. They didn't know each other. Still don't know each other. But she is donating her van, and that's just awesome. That's awesome. I believe she said the shocks need to be replaced, and so my husband, he can take care of that, and we'll get that done for her, and she'll be ready to ride. She is looking for a stretcher, so if you know of anybody that's got one or anything, please let me know. If not, they're going to figure out how to take care and get her a stretcher as well. So isn't that good? Ain't God good? And I was telling Troy the other night when I found all this out, I said, you know, that's just how God works. That's just how God works. And I'm just in awe of it. I haven't done anything. I just was a communicator, you know, and I feel so just blessed to be a little bitty part of such a huge blessing for somebody. You know, we take so much for granted, but that could have been one of us. You know, that could have been one of us that was, you know, in the hospital. That can happen. That can happen. You'd be surprised at the stuff that happens in hospitals. I mean, there's people that it forever changes their life. There's people that have, you know, get infections. That they get infections from procedures that's done there. And so it's a sad thing, but I don't know. I feel like that was my purpose for coming to this part of the state. So grateful and ready to be off for those days. I'm going to paint. We were remodeling when I started down here, and my floors don't match my walls in a couple of the rooms, so I don't like that, and I'm going to paint. You know, I had a guy come over and estimate what it would cost to paint my whole house. My Lord, I'd have to take a mortgage out. I mean, I was like, are you serious? Paying him and buying the paint would have been probably close to $10,000. I said, I can paint, and I can buy some paint. Now, paint's not cheap, but that's a lot better than paying thousands of dollars, you know? So I'll just do it myself. So anyway, I'm currently sitting here. As you can see, my hands are not on the steering wheel because I am in traffic. And there is, well, actually, we're starting to go, I'm 3 miles an hour. One of the left lanes is blocked over here, and I'm only about 9 miles from the 306 exit, so isn't that a shame? I was just gonna talk to you a little bit about things I have seen down here and experienced. You may remember my first week here, I was at a home, and it looked like a nice neighborhood. I was talking to this lady, and she was standing on the porch. I was down a couple of steps fixing to get in the car. Well, the people across the street now, I mean, within, I don't know, a couple of 100 feet, wasn't very far, they were out there shooting a gun in the front yard, you know, and she said, run, Tammy, and get in your car and leave. And I got in the car and I left. I don't know what them crazies was out there doing. shooting like that in a neighborhood. But anyway, that happened. And then I had went to an apartment complex, and I had seen this gentleman several times. Very nice guy from Jamaica, and I love his accent. But anyway, so I go there to see him, and there's 3 guys standing kind of under the stairwell. And I speak to them, say, hey, how are y'all? And they say fine and everything. And so this gentleman lives on the bottom floor. And so I go on in and take care of him, and I come back out, and it's raining. And I had my umbrella with me because it had been raining off and on that day. But anyway, it was just misting, really. It wasn't really raining. But anyway, when I started to leave, they were still, there standing, and one, I think, was sitting on one of the steps. And so I said, y'all have a good day. And they said, you too, ma'am, you too. And then one of them started saying something after I was walking off, saying something like, hey, baby, don't let the rain get to you, and don't get too wet out there. And, and I just kept walking. I didn't have no reply for that. So I got on in my car, was putting my tablet down and everything, and getting my next address put into the Garmin. And I looked up in my rearview mirror, and all 3 of them were just, a couple of inches from the back of my car. So I thought, well, they got 2 choices. Either get out of the way or get out of the way. So I put it in reverse, and I started creeping, and they moved. But what were they doing back there? It was mist and rain. What business did they have out behind my car? Anyway, that was weird. Of course, I've seen the Water Boys, and that was kind of a new concept to me. You can tell I'm from a small town, and I don't get out a whole lot, but they sell, those guys down there, they'd come up to my window and want me to buy water, $2 and $3 a bottle. And I keep my Yeti cup full of ice, and I keep a case of water in my car. And I definitely wouldn't buy it from them if I didn't even have any. But I did find out from one of the ladies that I see that lives in that area, and she said that those guys are, I don't know if pimp is a good word for it, but it's kind of like they're pimped out by somebody that puts them out there, that gives them this water, and they have to make a certain amount of money. And if they don't, they get beat up. I don't know. That's weird. And so, I don't want to see nobody get beat up, but I don't want their water. I don't want anything they've got. I've seen a lot of homeless people. We may have some in Somerville. If we do, I can't think of them. But it's so many down there. So many. I saw probably 3 or 4 today. Yeah, they like to sit out on the benches in town. Some of them, a lot of them, have buggies that's full of stuff. And, how sad is that? And I wonder how many of them are veterans. What else has been interesting down there? Oh, I went to a home a couple of weeks ago. And I had been to this house 2 or 3 times, and the little guy, they're from Vietnam, and the little guy, when I went in the last time, he was just wringing his hands and shaking his head, and he looked like something was wrong. So I said, okay, and he said, no, okay, because he doesn't know very much English. And I said, oh, okay. So I knew something was wrong. I thought before he was just nervous that I was there. He was new to an ileostomy, and we were out there to show him and his wife how to change it. So, and when he was saying no, okay, I didn't know what was wrong. So I called his daughter, who's very fluent in English, and I put her on speaker, and she talked to him, and they talked in their language to each other. And she said, he's upset you didn't take your shoes off. And I said, I didn't take my shoes off. I said, am I supposed to take my shoes off? And she said, oh, yes. She said, in our country, that's a show of disrespect. I said, oh. I said, well, hey, you should have told me from the get-go. I'd have been taking my shoes off. But, good for them. They live in a pretty decent neighborhood, because these shoes I have on are about $300 a pair. And If a dog had ran off with one of them, they would have been buying me a new pair of Z-Coils. So anyway, but I don't want them to feel disrespected. So I went right out there after she told me that in the garage, took my shoes off, and went back in, and he was fine. So that was just a little odd. And then today, see, I'm real cautious of that and paranoid of that now. So I go in to this house today, and they got this funny looking handwriting. It's a plaque, and it's their kind of writing, and it's symbols looking things. And so I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was these symbols, and they were on the front door. So I thought, uh-oh, these people might want me to take my shoes off too. So this guy in a wheelchair and this lady comes to the door, and I said, hey there, and I asked him, I said, are you the patient? And he said, no, it's my father. I said, oh, okay. And he had an accent, thick accent. And I said, do I need to take my shoes off? And he's like, no. I said, okay. So I get in there with him and his dad, and I sort of tell him a little bit of the story. I said, I went to this one house, and you know, this culture in particular did not believe in wearing shoes in the home. And he said, oh no, you can't wear your shoes in here. So so now I'm paranoid. So anybody that's not American, I'm gonna have to get over. I'm gonna ask them if they want me to take my shoes off. So anyway, I don't want to offend nobody. At least not in home health. I'm sure if they knew some of my beliefs, I would probably offend them. So the day today, the deal with the guy today in the wheelchair, his father I saw. I said, where are y'all from? Iraq. I said, oh wow, Iraq. And they've been over here 10 years. And the father only eats eggs and cheese for breakfast, the patient. And he's not eating a whole lot of meat. He has some gastrointestinal issues, so he's real careful. Things tear his stomach up. So I said, no raw vegetables. You know, try to stay away from things with seeds and nuts to maybe keep his stomach from getting upset, and fibrous foods. So we talked about that, and you know, really nice people. But the little man, I couldn't understand. He did say, "How are you?" And that's all the English I heard him say. And they talked back and forth because I was asking questions. But it's pretty neat. And then a while ago, I met this guy. He lived in the basement of this 3-story home. Beautiful. The basement is marble floors, if you can imagine. And my goodness, that kitchen in that basement is bigger than my kitchen. Beautiful home. And I could tell this gentleman, he was older. I'd never seen him before, so I really wasn't sure what was going on with him. So I flipped through his chart, and so I go in, and the daughter is in there, and she has me to go down about 32 steps to get to the basement. So I go down them steps, and there this little man is trying to get something out of the freezer, which is the bottom part of that refrigerator, and he was getting him a frozen pizza out. Okay, I think somebody was calling, so you might have missed a second. But anyway, the little gentleman was getting a pizza out to cook, frozen pizza. So I said, hey, how are you? He said, who sent you? I said, so I flipped back to see what his doctor's name was, and I said, Doctor, I don't even remember the name, but it was a real long name. And he said, oh, and he just never even looked up at me. He's just steadily looking and he's got this big knife out trying to open this little pizza box. I said, you need some help with that? And he said, sure. So he gave me the box. I took my hands, opened it right up. And anyway, we get to talking, and he finally opens up. But I thought at first he was going to be a little nasty, but he wasn't. And I said, where are you from? And he said, Argentina. I said, oh, wow. I said, do you like it over here, or do you miss your country? And he said, I hate this country. I said, you hate this country? Yes. Leaders, stupid leaders. I said, oh. I said, you must be talking about President Biden. And he said, yes. He said, that man got no sense, no common sense. And I said, well, I agreed with him, you know. So, in spite of that little man's health problems, his mind's good, you know. So, boy, he really, I mean, he was getting louder and louder talking about the policies of Biden. And he said he worked in California years and years ago. And he said now California is awful. And he said he would never go out there. And he was talking about gas out there was $7 a gallon or something like that. Anyway, but he he was pretty fired up about Biden. I have to really watch who to talk politics with, because some of these little folks, they don't see my views, and that's okay. You know, we all are entitled to our own views and thoughts and opinions. Just because I like something doesn't mean you have to. You know, we can agree to disagree. But some people get really fired up, and they get mad if you don't see things their way. And it's like that everywhere, not just in patients' homes. Like I said, you have to really watch who you offend. And I'm just a guest in their home trying to help them, and I don't want to offend them or rock the boat, I guess, so to speak. So I had an interesting day. Been listening a little bit off and on to the radio. Boy, it's getting really dark. There's like a dark black cloud over this place. So it was sunny today. I got my sunglasses on, so I had to take them off because I don't need them right now. But anyway, I've been listening off and on to the news, to the big court cases that's going on, and I don't know what you think about them. I don't know enough about the evidence and things to really say a whole lot. I have watched more of the Rittenhouse trial. I was trying to figure out why it was being, made out to be a racial thing. I had read somewhere last night that this Kyle Rittenhouse kid had a photo of him with one of the Proud Boys. Now, I don't know if that's true. I didn't see the picture. It was just an article that said that, so I don't know. So I thought, well, maybe that's why they're saying it's a race thing. I don't know. But anyway, just watching the video, it did seem like they were coming after him. One pointed a gun. He even admitted it on the stand, the survivor. And one came at him to the neck with a skateboard. I mean, in all honesty, he shouldn't have been out there that night. I cannot imagine, as a mother, taking Lance or Zach, and they're closer to 30 than they are anything now. I'm getting old. But I could not imagine taking them, even at the age they are now, and putting them out on the street, knowing there's going to be some violence, and, just leaving them. I just could not do that. I wouldn't do that. I myself would not go out there. But not everybody thinks like me. Not everybody thinks like you. And in his mind, evidently, he thought he was doing the right thing. He wanted to protect businesses, and he wanted to help people and provide first aid. Okay, so be it. But I personally don't think he should have been out there anyway. Honestly, had he not been out there, he wouldn't be going through all this. And maybe 2 people would still be alive. I don't know. The people out there that night, rioting and stuff, I don't understand that. Why do people want to tear up other people's stuff because they get mad at something that happened, or they don't agree with something? Where's the logic in that? Where is the logic? I wish somebody would tell me. Gosh, I'm just thinking, if I didn't agree with Troy or like something he said or did, and I just want to go out there and burn the neighbor's house up, how ridiculous does that sound? That's what they were doing. They didn't like something, so, and peaceful protesting, you got that right. And I'm all for that. I might even do some peaceful protesting. But, rioting and tearing up streets and burning down people's businesses, they need to be in jail, every one of them, for a long time, so that others might think twice before doing something stupid like that. But anyway, so my thing is, he shouldn't have been out there in the first place. However, I personally do see self-defense. because they were coming at him. You know, you do what you have to protect yourself. I would. I carry a gun. I have a carrying permit. And I have, gosh, I've got a rifle. I've got 3 handguns. And I'm not afraid to use any of them. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt nobody. Certainly don't want to shoot nobody, but hey, if it's them or me, I have no problem. And from just being a former correctional officer, prison guard, whatever you want to call us, I was taught at a young age to shoot to kill. Center mass, you know. I was 21 when I went to work at the prison. You know, my brain hadn't fully developed yet, so, and I am a pretty good shot. But I don't want to do that. And I just don't want to be around all that violence and stuff. I guess that's a good thing about living in a little town like I live. Now down here where I'm working, well, I go by streets where this was, what was it, year before last maybe, where they were rioting and burning up cop cars and stuff. I work in that area. So, yeah, it happens. It happens. So, anyway. Then the other case that's in Brunswick, Georgia, I don't know. I think what's his name, Timothy, the guy that actually did the shooting, he even admitted that he was trying to take the law into his own hands. And just from what I know, I don't know everything, so, you know, but they're wanting to protect property. You know, is protecting property a reason to shoot to kill? You know, shoot him in the leg, cripple him, so he can't, you know, be going places that he shouldn't go. I don't know, but best of all, call the cops, let them handle it, you know. But anyway, he thought that, well, they were all out there because the guy was going in and out of properties, is my understanding, and then they got into an altercation and stuff. So I don't know. I have a patient down here I saw today. He is a psychologist, and we were talking about that case, and he said that he believes they will, all 3 of those guys on that case in Brunswick, Georgia, will be acquitted. And I said, why do you think that? I think they'll be found guilty. Well, he said that the dad of the shooter was a cop, and that he worked under the DA, and something about that DA he worked under is in trouble about something. I don't know. So I guess they're political people, and you know how that goes. So I don't know. I think they'll be found guilty, but I don't know all the evidence. But I do think that Kyle Rittenhouse, I think it'll be a hung jury. Yeah. They're asking for more and more stuff, and you know, this is day 3, so they're really searching. They want to make the right choice. I heard today that some guy was chasing their bus down and was following it, and he said he was from MSNBC, and of course MSNBC, you know, the wonderful network they are, they said they don't know who he is. So you don't know to believe them either, so who knows who that guy was. But you know, it's just sad. And the rioters are all out there. Antifa, Black Lives Matters out there. I don't know if the Proud Boys are out there. Now, I do know there's people out there for Kyle. So, you know, but, yeah, they're talking already that there's going to be war. I don't know. I just think that's so silly. You know, let justice do its job. That's the court system. It's made for that. There's a jury in there. It's a panel of people that probably don't know each other, and you know, hopefully they'll make the right decision based on the law and based on the evidence. I just know if that young man does go to prison, I think he'll either be in solitary confinement most of his life, or he'll be killed. So I don't know. I just pray that the right thing happens, you know. So that keeps me entertained on my little daily ride. And here's a guy that is getting out of his transfer truck. Oh, he's stepping back in because we're at a standstill. I was supposed to be home at this time already, and it has pushed it up 40 minutes. So that's how long I've been sitting here. I actually got to go to Walmart and pick up some stuff. Normally I try to pick up stuff on Saturdays, but Mother and I hopefully will get out this weekend, and at least we've got appointments to get our pedicures and she likes that, and I do too. I enjoy that. So I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I know Thanksgiving's Thursday, and I'm working. Yeah, I'm trying to remember a time where I was off on both of the big holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving. I don't think I ever have been on both of them as a nurse. We're kind of 24/7 thing, and even at the prison, I worked a lot of holidays. If it was come on my shift that day, then I had to work. You do what you have to. But I will be in Atlanta on Thanksgiving, and one of the patients today told me that they were ordering out, and for me to come by there and get me a plate. So I thought that was nice. Of course, I won't go by there. I don't want to intrude like that on people, but that was a nice offer. There's some really nice people down here. There really are. I have met some wonderful people down here, and learned a lot, and I see how, the other side lives, the rich. Lots of rich folks down here. And so, but they're just, most of them are all really nice. I'm trying to think if there's been an instant. Well, yeah, I did have one guy. He kicked me out, and so I go in this house. This gentleman's laying on the bed. He's white as snow. He's shivering and shaking. Blood pressure was, I don't know, 180 over 110, something like that. It was high. Oxygen was, with oxygen on at 2 liters, his oxygen sat was in the mid-80s. So I knew something was wrong with him. And so I was there to get blood. And I did get the blood, and I told him, I said, we're going to have to send you to the hospital. And he said, no, I'm not going. He just got out. But he's a frequent flyer back and forth. He's got a lot of health problems. So I go and get the blood and everything, and I told him again, I said, I really think you need to go. And he said, no, and I told you I'm not going to that hospital. And I said, okay. So I didn't say nothing about it for a few minutes, and I finished up. And when I started to leave, I said, I really wish you would reconsider going to the hospital. He said, that's 3 times you've mentioned the hospital. Get out. I said, you want me to leave? And he said, yes, I'm not going to no hospital. Get out of this house now. So I said, okay, all right, I'll leave. He might pull a gun out under the bed and start shooting me. I don't know. So, so I go outside, and I go down the street just a little bit, a couple of houses down. I call his husband, and I told him, I said, look, something ain't right with him. And I said, he needs to go to the hospital. I said, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I know there's something wrong. And he agreed with me. And I told him, I said, I'm going to sit out here and I'm going to call an ambulance. I said, he can refuse the ambulance. I said, but I have to do what I need to do. I said, because I don't want to leave him in this shape. And I'm really not supposed to. I said, he's here by himself. And I said, I am going to call an ambulance. And he was okay with that. So I called an ambulance. And they came out there and they got him. And he stayed almost 3 weeks in the hospital. Yeah, he had blood poison from an infection. But anyway, so I haven't gotten kicked out of a house. And that little guy, I saw him today. He's back. And he's been back now a couple of weeks. But when I first went back after that, I told his husband, I said, I don't know if he's going to want me there. He ran me out and kicked me out of the house. He said, Tammy, he said he don't even remember doing that. And he might not have with, all that was going on with him, because he wasn't acting right. But he did remember that I mentioned the hospital 3 times. So he wasn't quite all the way gone, But, so I go back in that day and I said, hey, and I said, you doing better? And yeah. And so, we talked a little bit and chit chat. And I said, do you remember throwing me out of the house? And he said, Tammy, he said, I sure don't. And he said his husband's name. He said, he told me that you told him I did that. And he said, I would never do that. And I said, well, I didn't think so. I said, it kind of caught me off guard, because he'd always been very nice, very pleasant. This little guy, he was a nurse himself, a psych nurse. So me and him like to talk about crazy people. So anyway, it was very interesting. And he's doing better. He's doing better. But I told him, I said, the next time you refuse to go for me, and I really think there's something wrong with you, I'm going to sit out there and call an ambulance, and you can tell them no. So, anyway, that was a kind of an interesting thing. Gosh, I've met folks from South Korea. I was at their house today, as a matter of fact, and this little lady, every time I go, they're Seventh-day Adventist, and they're from South Korea, and she gives me these little drinks, and I think they're in the back seat, or I would show them to you. They're actually really good. They're made out of soy milk and black beans and pine nuts and all kinds of stuff, but it tastes like chocolate milk. It is the weirdest thing. It tastes like a chocolate milk. So, she gives me a couple of them. They're kind of like in a little pouch or a box, like the, what is those little things that kid, like the little apple juice boxes. And I can't tell you how many of them I've got in my car. Every time I go, I get 2. She gives me 2. And I take them because she doesn't know very much English at all. She knows what catheter sounds like. She knows the word medicine. She knows the word foot. She knows how are you, and she knows bye-bye, and okay. They all know the word okay, all of them. But anyway, so, oh gosh. But, yeah, it's been an interesting little ride. I have tomorrow and then one more week, and I will have finished my first assignment. Now, wouldn't that have been nice if I'd have got a $15,000 completion bonus? Wow. Yeah, I'd have probably took about 2 months off from work. No, I wouldn't. I just can't. I do not like being housed up. Now, I am looking forward and have some things to do when I get home on this week off. Some painting and stuff that I want to get done. But I can't be one that doesn't work. I just can't do it. I just like getting out, and I don't know. Maybe if I was loaded, which I'm not, but if I was, I would want to work at least probably about 3 days a week. And if I really didn't need the money, I'd just volunteer somewhere. So anyway, that's just me. I want to be one of those little 95-year-old grannies that's volunteering at the hospital, telling visitors which way to go. So I don't think I want to be nursing then. I don't know if I can do some of the stuff I do now at that age. No, probably not. Might make me sick. Yeah, I see a lot of stuff. What was it? I was at a house one day this week, and I don't remember what it was, but the patient was, I do know what it was. This patient was covering up their private area. I was there for maybe a wound or something, I don't know. But anyway, and they're like, I don't want you to have to see that. And I said, look, these 2 hands have been in just about every orifice of a human body. It don't bother me. What bothers me is puke, vomit. I might vomit with you if I see you vomit or see it in the floor, and the smell of it. Blood doesn't bother me. Poop doesn't bother me. Urine doesn't bother me. Snot doesn't bother me. So yeah, it'd have to be pretty bad to bother me. But I was actually in nursing school right out of high school. I was 18 years old. I was going to Floyd Junior College. I was getting in the RN program, and I was taking core classes. And so I don't know, I probably hadn't been there, I probably had taken 4 or 5 core classes, maybe a year. I'd been there a year, I don't know. But anyway, because I was not taking full-time loads, I was working. And they had us to go to a little facility, or not really a facility, but a little makeshift facility. I think my phones have fallen down. There we go. And so anyway, I go in there and they start telling us what all we got to do, and you got to do this, and I thought, I am not touching people. And I quit school. I thought, I am not doing this. I don't want to put my hands on somebody. Ooh, that's gross. That's what I was thinking. I was 18, 19 years old. So, it was God's purpose for me to be a nurse. And I was just really so fed up with it at Hayes. Went there, worked over a decade in a prison. You know, how wonderful is that for a 21-year-old girl? Or I was a wife and a mother, and at that time and at that age, and Troy and I both were working there. But you know, I'm a prison guard at 21 years old. You know, that's a big change, a bad change, really. You know, hindsight's 20/20. I wished I could have, you know, been a nurse all those years, but God has reasons for things, and He still made it possible for me to be a nurse. And you know, it was His plan all along. I just made my bed hard for almost 12 years and had to lay in it. And I can't tell you at the times when I first started at Hayes, I was a nervous wreck. My second day there, I will never forget. There was a guy, it was an inmate there. He was in A building, and they put me with a very good female officer, Christy Giddon, and she may be watching, I don't know, but she was one of the best officers that Hayes ever had. A lot of respect for Christy. But anyway, she put me with her, and I still was scared because I knew, I mean, she was a female too, and I knew me and her together couldn't whoop all them, you know. So I was greeted at one of the dorms. A1 was the dormitory, by this big old dude. I mean, he was cut up, oh my gosh, muscles everywhere. Big guy. And he met me at the door, and his name was Thomas Simmons. You can look him up. I believe he was in on a 1984 murder charge. And he welcomed me to Hayes State Prison and wanted to show me around the dormitory. Well, I was probably white as a ghost and scared to death, and I'm walking in this place, and there's all these other men in uniforms, and I knew they were inmates, and I knew they were bad people. And you know, he's introducing me to this one and that one, and you know, I was just, yeah, scared. And I'm sure it probably did show. That's one thing you can't do, is show weakness in a place like that. And I learned that as the years went by. So I worked the shift out, went home, cried all night. Next day, I went in. We didn't have cell phones back then, so, but anyway, and Hayes is on a curvy little road, I don't know, a mile and a half off the road maybe. And I run down the bank in Troy's little truck. That's what I was driving. And I finally maneuvered myself out of the ditch, went back home, called Sergeant Cook. He was my supervisor at that time. And I was crying. I said, "This is Officer Martin, and I just can't work there. I'm so sorry. I'm just so afraid. I can't do it." And he said, I'll never forget, he said, "Officer Martin, you take the rest of the day off. You come in tomorrow, I'm going to put you with some veteran officers." And he did. He put me with an officer, and if any of you from the prison are watching, you probably remember Officer DeWeese. He was from either New Hampshire or New Jersey. And, oh, he was as Yankee as you could get, and tough. Those guys would have a cigarette in their mouth. They used to go smoke in the prison system. They can't now, but he would just take those cigarettes out of their mouth. And I thought, are you crazy? Ain't jerking nothing off of these guys. But anyway, you know, long story short, I worked there almost 12 years. And so here I am now as you know, somebody that's not in a tough position, in a caring position. And I like it, but it can be stressful. It really can, because you have a lot of these people, their life is in your hands. You know, it's up to you to take care of them. And I try my best. I'm not perfect, far from it, but I do love these little people. I love all my patients. If I am your nurse, I'm going to do all I can to help you. You know, my motto, and I don't know if anybody else has this motto because I didn't get it from somewhere, but my motto is, I want to be the kind of nurse that I want to have. And I've worked with nurses. They tell patients they're going to do stuff for them. They don't. I mean, just do your job. They don't really ask for a whole lot. But if there's something going on, call their doctor. You know, if the doctor don't return your call, keep calling, you know. I mean, it could be the difference in, you know, somebody getting septic. It could be an infection that just gets worse and worse day by day, and you could have helped stop that. So, anyway, off my little rant for some of the nurses I've worked with. But patients know if you're genuine, and they know if you care about them. And I hope my little folks know that I do care about them. I still stay in contact with people I seen 9 and 10 years ago. If the patient's, no longer around, I'm still in touch with their family, or a lot of them are on my Facebook. So, we keep up and with each other. And, these people, they hold a place in my heart. They really do. I've got some wonderful ones. I miss a lot of my little Rome people. Oh, all of them, really. I saw one of my little ladies the other day, and hadn't seen her since I left, and I went by there, and she gave me some eggs, some brown eggs, the good ones with the shoo-shoo on it. I like the shoo-shoo eggs because that keeps that membrane on them eggs. And so so I thought that was so sweet of her. I just love that little family, and she's precious. But I know some nurses try not to make a connection with their patients. It's strictly business. I've just never really been able to be that way. I get to know them. I mean, their medical history, all about that. And, you go see them 2 or 3 days a week, or, several times a month. You get to know their family. I mean, and I enjoy talking to them. And I don't know, we just connect. But anyway. Well, I think I have went about 2.5 miles. Yeah. I am at 1 mile an hour. Let's see. Uh-oh, now I'm going to 2. Now 4. I might get home by 8 o'clock. Yeah. No, I got to go to Walmart and get my stuff. I don't want Troy to have to stop by and get that. I know he's tired. He has a long drive too, but not as long as mine. Not as long as mine. And I have noticed that it's just the driving. I am, like, in the morning, I'm energized and ready to go. But by the time, like now, it's like I just want to get something to eat, get out of these scrubs, get a shower, turn my electric blanket on, and go lay down and go to sleep. Watch some YouTube videos. There you go. Watch some YouTube videos. Hey, I've been watching these videos. You can find anything on YouTube. I thought Google was bad, but YouTube, you can see it, So I've been looking, and I try to be frugal. I try not to spend a lot of money, or I try to get the cheapest of whatever. And, some things you can, and some things you don't want the cheapest. It depends on what it is. But anyway, as far as, like, groceries and stuff, I try to be frugal. But I was watching some videos the other day, and there's these people, and you can go and do the YouTube thing and research it and look them up. And it's Dollar Tree meals. Okay, these people are going in the Dollar Tree store and getting their groceries. And I don't know if they still have it, but the one on Redmond Road, they used to have, when I was working in Rome a few years back, they used to have ribeye steaks for $1. Now, there's no way I would feed that to my dog. Where do you get a ribeye for $1, But people buy it. And so you just need to check out some of them videos. Them women on there, they're trying to save money. They're cooking. Everything's usually got some kind of pasta or rice. And then they just go around and they get the packs of gravy that they can put water in. And one lady had the chicken strips that were breaded. So she cooked them in the oven, chopped them up, put them over some, I think it was rice, or maybe it was pasta. It might have been pasta. Anyway, she took this pouch of this Velveeta cheese sauce and put all over it, and added a can of corn to it. Yeah, but anyway, there are meals on there for $5. And listen, if you don't want to spend a lot on Thanksgiving, because old Joe's got them turkeys up now that are pretty pricey. I saw at Walmart where a small one's about $14 or $15. We don't eat much turkey, but anyway, I wouldn't pay that for one. So anyway, listen, if you don't want to pay for that, get on YouTube and research Dollar Tree Thanksgiving meals. You got to see what these people come up with. Unbelievable. And I also like to watch this guy called Van Life Van City. I can't remember which words which word is first, but this guy is in Canada, as that's where he's from, and he lives in a van. He can't even stand up in it. Some of the vans do have the real tall headliners, or whatever you want to call it, tops, and but his don't. So he is on his knees crawling through that van. His bed's there. He cooks there. He's got a desk in there that he edits all his videos. And you know, these people are making mega bucks. Uh-oh. Another phone call. I'm sorry. I don't know why they do that. Just keep calling. Anyway, not while I'm talking to whoever's watching this. Okay. But anyway, this guy, he lives there. He's got an English bulldog. I love that bulldog. It's an English bulldog named Cruz. Cruz has his own YouTube channel. You need to check it out if you want a good laugh, and and so sweet. Yeah. Oh, he's so adorable. But this guy does all these videos and is making all this money. And then I got interested in this YouTube couple called Roll with Cole and Charisma. Now, Cole was in a diving accident or a swimming accident. He was somewhere swimming, hit his head on a rock, and he's a quadriplegic. And he ended up falling in love with this little girl that worked in the rehab facility. And he actually, I think he's from Virginia, but he actually came to Shepherd's in Atlanta, which is a wonderful, wonderful spinal injury, traumatic brain injury. They're wonderful for those kind of things. And so he did some rehab down here. But anyway, that's not where she was working. She was somewhere else. But they met, fell in love, and they've been together ever since. And their videos are really neat. And it's so interesting at how he does so much. Being a quadriplegic, he drives. You know, if they go through the drive-thru, though, she's got to reach over him to hand the money and to get the food or whatever they've ordered, because he can't. His little hands are kind of in like that. But it's amazing. He goes everywhere. He does speeches and stuff, and goes places and talks. But I was reading up, and just on their YouTube videos, they make about $8,000 a month. Can you imagine? I can think of some stuff to talk about to make $8,000 a month. I don't know about you. Now, Mother's videos, we're not trying to make any money on them videos. She just enjoys it. I enjoy it. She's funny. She's 82 years old. You know, I know I won't have her always. So I really enjoy making memories with her. But she is really a hoot. And, but you know, how about that? All that money they're making. And then there's a girl, Christina Randall. She's a YouTube girl, and she's got 2 or 3 channels, and one of them is for 18 and older, so it's probably raunchy. I don't do raunchy, so I just subscribe to her main channel. And she does a lot of, she was a prisoner herself. She was a young girl in prison in Florida for 3 years, and I can't remember what her crime was, but I don't think it was nothing major. She got 3 years. But anyway, she loves to talk about prison, and she loves to talk about cases, you know. So you can get on her channel, and she does her research, and I'm interested in all this true crime stuff. I was before I worked at Hayes, but I just love it. And but she gets on there and really goes on and does her research, and very educational about things. But then she gets on there, and she had dreadlocks for 5.5 years. Did not what she calls deep soak in her hair for 3.5 years. And then I watched a video of her last night, and she is laid over in the sink of the bathroom with those dreads in that water, and when she took them out, it was muddy looking. Oh my God. Well, she has since had those dreads took out, and she said that they found mold in her hair. I'm sorry, no thank you. I can't handle that. But anyway, she's kind of funny. But I love the little cooking videos, probably better than anything. Those people on there making stuff from the Dollar Tree. And I did, and I ordered this from Walmart today. We don't need it, but it's the holidays, so why not? Anyway, maybe we can get it in gear and get in shape after the holidays. But it's peanut butter fudge. So what you do is you get, I think it's the 16 ounces of the smaller jars of peanut butter, and get you a cup of vanilla frosting, or a little tub of it, and you melt them both. You mix them together. You get your parchment paper out, spray it good, After that stuff is melted and everything, you mix it up real good. You can put pecans, walnuts, you know, little sprinkles, whatever you want to in it. This lady didn't put anything in hers. And it's just those two ingredients. You know, you can heat them up in the microwave, put it in the refrigerator for, I think it's 4 hours, because you want it to get good and firm. And it looks so good, and she said that is the best peanut butter fudge. So if you want to make some peanut butter fudge, get you a jar of peanut butter and a cup of vanilla frosting. And I guess you could change it up. Maybe if you wanted like Reese's type fudge or chocolate peanut butter, you could use some kind of milk chocolate icing too. So I guess it's your preference. But anyway, I got some at Walmart. I'm going to try to go get the groceries if I can get there. I'm up to 10 miles an hour. I am 5.9 miles from my exit. Lord help me, Jesus. But I guess I've talked your ears off. I can't believe I have sat here and talked for 55 minutes. So that's how long I've been sitting here, because I didn't start this till I just was bored and didn't have anything to do. So anyway, I hope you have a good day, a blessed week. And if I don't see you or anything before Thanksgiving, I pray you have a good holiday. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I am working, but I'm so thankful that God has given me this opportunity. He's given me a good family, good church friends, and most of all, He saved me. You know, I can't want from anything else. I am rich, honestly, spiritually speaking, and I just love it. Rich in my heart, because I've got good friends and family, and God's just good. So you got a lot to be thankful for. I don't usually do the little day 1, day 2 Thanksgiving thing, or what you're thankful for. You know, I'm thankful for a lot of little things, but the main things is what I just said. I'm very thankful for them, and not just day 1 or day 2, every day. So till we